So, Soushin Shoujo Matoi kicked off today, and it had an interesting start. I mean, the literal start of the episode was so serious and so strange to me. I mean, it felt like the beginning of, like, Psychopaths or something more military-based like that. We had all these military members going in talking about how there was, like, serious deaths going on and people were dying. There was a team that had been wiped out. And then you had this paranormal entity destroying all these soldiers inside. It was not all what I expected from this synopsis. I had no idea this was going to have military stuff involved, so that just blew my mind. Then we had the bit that I understood a bit more, that felt a bit more like the anime I was expecting to get. Where we had a blonde girl come walking in and they called her the anti-creed of Fatima. Whatever that means. I mean, I assume it means she's basically a Mahou Shoujo kind of thing. But, like, a Western version, which is pretty cool, actually. The idea that they've got this Western military unit kind of version, where she just transformed, sealed away a demon, acted all badass. It was actually really cool, that whole part. The animation in this is really good. I mean, it's done by White Fox. Base animation, not so great. It's just the visual effects. When they have, like, the magic effects, like when we had this anti-creed of Fatima sealing away the demon, it all looked really cool. The demons coming into and out of existence looks really badass. And then right at the end, when we had our main character get her magical powers, and it was all this glowing pink rainbow energy light stuff, that all looks really cool to me. And so does all the effects on the demons. Or, yeah, I suppose we'd call them demons since they're possessing people. Or maybe spirits. But they look genuinely creepy. I'm interested to see exactly why they've come to this world. I mean, we had the blonde woman in this one, Haruka Lucilla, talking about how they're draining plasma. So it actually makes them sound like vampires more than anything else. Because, I mean, plasma's in your blood and fluids and stuff. So it sounds like, yeah, when a demon possesses a human, it kind of turns them into a pseudo-vampire. But they seem to be after these jewels that could transform them into, like, magical creatures as well. So, I mean, right now I don't know exactly what's going on in this one. I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of explanation in the next few episodes. All I know is I quite enjoyed it. I mean, our main characters are just adorable. We have Sumeragi Matoi, who's like our main girl, and both of these girls are a lot younger than I thought they were going to be as well. I didn't watch a PV for this one, I just went straight into this one. So I didn't realise that they're both meant to be about 13 to 15 and very, very small. Which surprised me. But, you know, it works to their favour. They're adorable, they're so innocent. She just wants to live basically a normal life. We can see that she's lost her mother. Her father's a police detective having to deal with serious crime shit. Like, he seems to get called in when there's something big, dark and evil going on rather than just working a normal 9-to-5 kind of job. So Sumeragi basically takes care of him, does the best to take on the motherly role of doing the cooking and doing the cleaning and, you know, being the mother of the house since they've lost the mother. And it seems they've only been living together in this peaceful town for about 3 months, and Sumeragi was really liking her quiet time. She was really liking living in the countryside and just being so chill, having her part-time job at the shrine that she was working at with her best friend. And that's all been ruined because now she's been turned into a Mahou Shoujo, which she never wanted to do. Which is really funny. Because then on the opposite side, we've got Kusanagi Yuma, our other main girl character, who wanted so bad to be a Mahou Shoujo. Like, she's a total chunibyo kind of character. She was like searching the storeroom looking for relics of the days when her ancestors used to purify spirits. And it was all really cool. I mean, she even eventually ended up finding this old scroll thing, which was what eventually turned Sumeragi into the Mahou Shoujo. And she was just so bold about everything. I mean, even when a goddamn possessed human spirit kind of thing appeared in front of her, she was so chill with it. She just whipped out her little scroll, started reading it. She's just such a weird child. I mean, I have so much fun watching her interact with everyone else as well. Because you even have Sumeragi just taking the piss out of her, being like, how old are you again? When she's doing Mahou Shoujo kind of shit just in the background. And when she pulled out the scroll in front of the demon, it was like, girl, what the fuck are you doing? Run the hell away. But she was right about it. I mean, it managed to work out in her favour. She perform the ritual. It just so happened that Sumeragi was unlucky enough to trip as it was going on and end up in the exact position she needed to be in to complete the ritual on herself. Oh man, so I felt really bad for Kusanagi. She worked so hard to get those powers and it just completely ignored her and gave them to Sumeragi. Ah, poor Chunibyo kid, man. She'll never be a Mahou Shoujo. But I mean, that's when it got cool as well. The demon appeared and Sumeragi couldn't control her powers, but they managed to defend her. She put up a barrier and managed to, just by essentially screaming, "Yeah!" blast it away with magic and cure the poor human that had been possessed. Like, she sent the demon back to the weird other world. I mean, they were talking about something like a Babylon gate when it started, like with the Anti-Creed of Fatima. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of magical terms in this. We just haven't quite learned them yet. We haven't had anything explained to us, but yeah. Sumeragi has the power to purify things is all I know. That battle looked pretty cool. The demon really did look hardcore. And there was some extreme violence at the beginning of this, which I did not expect, nor all the military stuff. So right now, I'm just not sure what direction this show is going to go down. I mean, there have been some very nice slice of life moments in the first episode, but there's also been some very serious, dark, paramilitary kind of moments. And at the same time, you've got our main character, Sumeragi, who is like a normal, typical Mahou Shoujo looking cute and colourful and everything. But then you've got that blonde girl from right at the beginning, the Anti-Creed of Fatima, who like uses a sword and acts more like a knight, looks more like a badass and works with the military. So there's quite a few different layers to this going on. And then there's also the ecchi side to it, which, you know, I was basically expecting in a Mahou Shoujo kind of thing. We had this blonde show up, that Lucilla chick, and everybody was in love with her because she has a massive chest and nice thighs and has them all on display for everyone to see, which is just part of her tactics to get everything that she wants, basically. I mean, when she asks people she wants to see something, the men will normally just go ahead with it and be like, totally. The only person who was resistant to that was Sumeragi's father, the detective. And that is the one scene that really made it creepy to me. There was one really fucked up scene, which I'm not sure if it's setting up a bad precedent for the future. It may have just been a one-time thing, may have been supposed to be a joke. But when Sumeragi had finished banishing the evil spirit, then we had her father run over and, thinking that it was his dead wife, he grabbed her from behind and was saying how much he'd missed her and how glad he was to see her back. But, you know, he groped his 13-year-old daughter, which is just so fucked up. For one thing, why would you grope your wife first thing when you see her come back from the dead? You wouldn't do that. You'd maybe kiss her, you'd try to hold her, but you just don't go straight for the opie, man. And yeah, you have the poor 13-year-old girl who's just been essentially molested by her father, freaking the fuck out and running away. And then when she reverts back to her human state in the middle of the goddamn woods, like she hasn't got her old school clothes back on, she is completely butt naked. Oh man, so that was a bit of an awkward moment for me, especially since I'm not sure what they're going to do with it. I'm not sure if Sumeragi's father is married into the family, because they share the same last name, but at the same time, she's constantly calling him by his name. She's calling him Shingo-kun, as if he maybe married Sumeragi's mother later on rather than being her biological father. Either way, I don't want them to set up like a relationship between those two. It's just too creepy for me. He's way too old for her. And yeah, I just hope they were just doing it as a joke, and to me it was just kind of creepy, whereas it was meant to be funny. So yeah, other than that, I'm definitely keeping this one going because there's basically nothing else to watch on a Tuesday anyway, except for Nanbaka, which is going to be amazing, but that's still a few hours away. So yeah, definitely going to try this one at least to episode 2. Probably going to give it the 3-episode test because, like I said, there's nothing else on today. It's by White Fox. Like I said, I like the animation, I like the characters, I like the cuteness. And, you know, they've got all that paramilitary stuff going on in the background, so I want to see how that goes as well. So essentially, just let me know what you guys thought of this episode. Do you guys like the cute sides as much as me, or am I just desperate for anything to watch on Tuesday afternoon? And more importantly, how did you guys feel about that groping scene? Like, did you see comedy in it? Was it creepy to you? Are you hoping they don't do that kind of shit again? Let me know your thoughts, and if you enjoyed this review, whack that like button like you mean it. Subscribe if you haven't already to see more, and I will see you guys next time.